Most people assume that the God of the Bible was always a singular, supreme being, unchallenged, alone, and eternal. But early Israelite religion wasn't always monotheistic. In fact, some of the oldest texts suggest something else, that Yahweh was once a member of a divine council, that he may have been subordinate to an even older god, El. To understand this, we have to go back to Canaan in the late Bronze Age. The people of ancient Canaan worshipped a high god named El. He was called El Elyon, God Most High. He was the head of the divine assembly, a pantheon of gods who governed various aspects of the world. He had a consort, Asherah, and sons who ruled different nations. This isn't speculation. It's preserved in texts like the Ugaritic tablets, discovered in Ras Shamra, modern-day Syria, which detail the Canaanite pantheon. El is portrayed as a fatherly, distant creator, wise, aged, and supreme. His children included gods like Baal, Mot, and Yam. But among this divine family, Yahweh does not appear, at least not at first. Then we turn to Deuteronomy 32:8-9. In its earliest Hebrew form, found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it reads, "When the Most High, El Elyon, gave the nations their inheritance, he set boundaries for the peoples according to the number of the sons of God. But Yahweh's portion was his people, Jacob, his allotted inheritance." This passage clearly distinguishes El Elyon from Yahweh. El gives out the nations. Yahweh receives Israel. Yahweh is one of the sons, assigned a nation like the others. This aligns with the divine council model, multiple gods under a high god. Over time, however, Yahweh absorbs El's identity. Later biblical texts begin to refer to Yahweh with titles previously reserved for El, El Shaddai, El Elyon, and simply El. Psalms, Isaiah, and later books merge the two figures. What started as distinct beings become one and the same. This theological shift reflects a broader cultural and political change. As Israel transitioned from a loose tribal confederation to a centralized monarchy, its religion became more centralized too. Competing gods were either merged into Yahweh or eliminated entirely. Asherah, once the consort of El and later Yahweh in some inscriptions, vanishes from the text. The divine council becomes metaphorical, and Yahweh becomes not just Israel's God, but the only God. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's visible in the archaeological and textual record. Inscriptions from Kuntilat Ajrud mention Yahweh and his Asherah. The transition from henotheism, worship of one God without denying others, to full monotheism was gradual, complex, and political. Prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah begin to emphasize Yahweh's uniqueness. In Isaiah 45:5, Yahweh declares, "I am the Lord, and there is no other. Apart from me, there is no God." This marks a turning point, the collapse of the council, the erasure of El, and the supremacy of Yahweh. By the time of the Babylonian exile, the transformation was complete. The God once described as receiving his allotment from El now was El. The divine family was gone. The other gods were demonized, forgotten, or rebranded as false. Modern scholars call this process monotheization. It was not instant. It evolved through centuries of political consolidation, warfare, and theological innovation. The idea that Yahweh and El were once separate is not a challenge to faith. It's a glimpse into how religions form, how stories evolve, and how even gods change. Want more deep dives into forgotten theology, lost texts, and the origins of belief? Subscribe and explore the foundations of faith.